I have a 1-year-old nephew that if this room is full of so many adults, including his mom, his nanny, his dad, myself, and maybe a few other people, and if he's crying, the presence of his mom makes him crave his mom before any other person, right? And if his mom isn't there, the presence of the nanny makes him is the only person that can carry him when he's crying. And if his mom and his nanny isn't there, then the next person is his dad, obviously. And after his dad, if none of those people are there, then I'm going to be the lucky one who can carry him when he's being cranky. So you see that there's that level of love between himself and his mother that makes him want to have his mom by him every time he's maybe cranky or happy, or he just wants to always be with his mom, right? There's that happiness, right? And that's one thing that makes me look at something that I've heard recently from married people, right? Because I'm planning to get married, right? And that has made me make some observations about marriage. Two things that came to my attention during this study has been that when you're looking for a partner, if there's any trait at all that you should be looking for, one of the things that should be included to your list, because I recently included this to my list as well, is that the person has to love you enough to want to work with you. The person has to love you enough to want to make your relationship work. And you also have to love the person enough to want to make that relationship work. I mean, my nephew, obviously, he loves all of us, but he's more committed to wanting it to work with his mother than he is committed to making it work with me. So that's why when I walk into the room and his mom walks into the room, he's jumping for his mom. In fact, if I walk in first, he will just look at me and like, then he goes. But immediately his mom walks, he's, oh, my mom is back. Obviously, he's not talking yet, he's just one. So you can see the smile on his face, and then he crawls up to his mom and then he's like, carry me, carry me, carry me. You understand? When we're looking for a life partner, one thing that we should all look out for, because even married people have attested to this, is let the person be willing to work with you. In fact, you should also be willing to work with that person, because I mean, it takes two to tango. You can only lead the horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink water. You understand? So it takes two to tango. So if the camel is really thirsty and then it comes to you, right, it's easier for you to say, oh, okay, you're thirsty, let's go to the river. It becomes easier for the flow. The flow becomes seamless. The flow becomes just free and with no friction, right? Because the horse actually wants water. So it follows you, and then when it gets to the river, you don't have to be forcing its head. Take water, take water. The horse automatically bends down and wants to take water. So it takes two to tango, really. And when we're looking for a life partner, we should always look out for that in the relationship, in the person. Is this the kind of person that I want to go to war with? If I am facing battles, can I face those battles with you, right? So it's not just about eating the good things, and it's not just about the good things of life. So Pastor Mildred, she was at the phase where she needed to pick between Pastor Kingsley and then her husband, right? And one thing that she said, her mother gave her an advice, and that's Pastor Kingsley, who was broke, and then there was this other man who was a doctor who was already like made, and she was at the junction of picking two people. One person was broke, the other person was not even in Nigeria. And then she said her mother gave her just one advice: if you were to drink Gary with just one of them, like drink Gary literally with just one of these people, who will that person be? And she said, without thinking, that she just thought that Kingsley, right? And that was the person that was how she was able to make that decision. She said Kingsley. Why did she say Kingsley? Because she was like, even in the mud, Pastor Kingsley would not make it look like it was her fault. Pastor Kingsley would not push the blame. Pastor Kingsley would rather try to see the beauty in that situation. And that was how she was able to pick Pastor Kingsley, because she can go to war with this person. They can face war together. They can be in without anybody being pushing the blame or anything, but they will face it together. So it's like, basically, go for somebody that you can go to war with. Not somebody that you can fight, but somebody that you can fight a battle with. Right? It's not like marriage is full of battles or anything. However, what if battles show forth? What if it just brings his ugly head? Make sure that that person is someone you can fight battles with. So just 2 things. Except from every other thing, these are the 2 things that I added to my own list. 1, as much as I am willing to make it work, it also has to be someone who loves me enough to want to make it work. That's 1. Then the second thing that I added to my list is that he has to be somebody that I can go to war with, as much as I will also be somebody that he can go to war with. So it's going to be me also, not just expecting that from him, but also being that for him, right? So it's not like he's not going to be the only one that will love me enough to know to want to make it work, and then I'm not making it work. Remember, it takes 2 to tango. And secondly, not only do I want him to be someone that I can go to war with, but rather I also have to be somebody that he can go to war with. Right, so it has to be a 2-way thing. It's not just one person giving and then the other person not giving. Over time, it will get tiring. So yeah, those are the 2 things that I've added to my list. I hope that you reason with them and see which one that you can add to your list. And if there's any other thing that you have added to your list of recent, you can just share them in the comment section. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Bye bye.